This is the instructional video for navigation of the InterX 5002. It has a number of attachments. The device has 4 switches, the on and off switch. This is your enter button. Your plus and minus for increasing the intensity of the stimulation. You turn the device on right here. On that first screen you see the battery and it's powering up, and you notice that it was green. That's a full battery. The power on the device is run on 2 AA or 4 AA batteries right here. Again, you don't want to use rechargeables because it'll damage the device. And it defaults to the medical model. On that first screen you have your acute, chronic, and cycles. It's going to take you to the left part of the screen. So I'm going to hit this left arrow. I'm going to go to the acute, and I'm going to show you all the acute settings. So you have all these, you have 6. That's your acute settings. You're going to do the same on the chronic. You get 5 settings: 60, 15, 15 to 60, 30 to 120, and 240. Then you have your cycles. I'll take it off, and I'm going to go back to the initial screen. It gives me the book, the option of all the settings. So it takes you through all 15 settings from 480 all the way down to your cycles into 180 is your last. One setting that you can only find through the book, and that's called the 3 to 1, which is a modulating frequency. It's number 11, and you can only get to it from the book. And so on this screen, you're going to have your setting, which is in the left top corner. That's your frequency, 180 pulses per second. The top right, you're going to have your percentage of stimulation. So when I hit the plus button here, it's going to give me more stimulation. So you're going to see how it goes up, 7, 8, 10%, all the way up. And then down at the left bottom corner is your timer. I'm going to put my hand back here. It's going to give me a green color, meaning that there's skin contact. If I take it off, you have this little yellow person, a no man. So you have the green, which means it's on and working. You saw when I hit this button here, the enter button, you have these 4 icons. The left one is the go back button, so it takes you to the previous screen. And then you have your target, which this one is really mainly used for the sport mode, which we'll talk about later. You have the pause button, which is going to actually pause your device. So it just totally takes it off and just pauses it, and it spares your batteries. I'm going to turn it back on, and then you have your book. We're going to go to the tools section. Tools section, I'm going to select the book. I'm going to hit my enter button, and the tools icon is right over here to the right. I'm going to go to that, go up and over, and I'm going to hit the button here. And so all these different icons, what they mean, that first one is to go back. The second one, which is the I, gives you information. That information tells you how many stim hours you've had, how much stimulation you've done with this device. It's just for your own record. And then this icon, which looks like a sunbeam, is the lights. And then I'm going to take it down. And sometimes you might want to do that if the light might be too stimulating for your patient. And then your sound. If you have a very sensitive person that can't handle the beeping, you would want to turn it down. And then the last one is the numbers. So I'm going to push that. The one on the left gives you numbers, and that's to find and locate these areas of low impedance. I choose to use the numbers because they're very effective in treatment. And then let's go back to this screen. On this top, you see these double arrows. This gives me an orientation of left, right, and orientation. So if I was left-handed, that would give me left-handed screen. I'm going to push it again to take me back because I'm right-handed, to give me the right-handed screen. I'm going to show you how to attach the electrodes and what the difference is between the two different electrodes that I have here with me. So I'm going to just go back to 60 Hertz, which is in the chronic settings, and I'm going to plug the device in down here on the port. When plugging in accessories, you're going to line up the arrow with the port. You're going to plug it in. You're going to hold on to this portion, and it goes in simply like that. To pull it out, you pull this back and pull out like that. Again, plug it in, snaps in. And so it's going to give you the setting of 60 Hertz. That's what I'm choosing to put on here. And as I place the device on, it just gives me these different settings. So 60, you'll be able to get 15 to 60. You can get all your settings through the dome. However, when I plug in the dual flex pad, the 3x3 or the 4x4, and I'll just plug it in, you'll see the difference. I'm going to plug it in, and it's going to give you variable frequencies. So in the chronic mode, it gives you those two frequencies, the 15 to 60 and 30 to 120. If I use acute and I press that, it's going to give me higher frequencies. But there is a difference when you plug in the 3x3 or use the dome. This concludes the medical model. We're going to move into the sports model and how to use it in sport mode. So you have your initial screen, and it's going to default into the medical model. And I'm going to take us to the sport model. So you go to the book, hit your enter button. You're going to go to your little sport running man, hit the enter button again, and it's going to give you the injury curve. The injury curve, you can see the blue is going to be your acute mode, and then your red is going to be subacute, and then you have chronic, and then you have repair. So in that setting, you're going to use the blue, which is your acute at a very fresh injury. It'll take you to 480 Hertz. Now if you hit this button here and you want more selections in the acute, you're going to hit this target like I was saying earlier. Hit the target, it's going to give you two different frequencies you can use, 480 and 90 to 360. So I'm just going to take you back and show you in the repair how it takes you to 240, but I'm going to try to get more selections. So I'm going to hit that target, and it gives me 3 other selections, and it does that on each stage of the injury curve. And that's how you use the sport. You're not going to get numbers like you would. You're just going to use it in these different frequencies: 480 acute, subacute, repairing, chronic, and then repair. It concludes the navigation for the InterX 5002.